Hello, good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday to all of you, and thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with us. Please let me know po if clear po ba ako on your end. Type C or type U if unclear. I'll be waiting for your feedback. Okay, thank you so much for your feedback. See. Good. So before we start, let me just introduce myself. I am Monneth Pangatungan, Visayas Business Development and Market Education Officer of Securities. It is the stock brokerage arm of the Metro Bank Group. And our company is dedicated to promote financial literacy and create awareness on investment opportunities to empower individuals like you and me, and even institutions to attain their financial goal. And we envision to be the largest and most trusted Philippine investment solutions partner. And it is my honor and pleasure to serve as your host for this evening. And just like this event, we used to conduct our sessions on site and face-to-face. However, due to pandemic, we shifted to a webinar format. But we are glad that we are continuously being invited by private institutions, academic institutions, and even public institutions. That is on top of our monthly webinars that we conduct here in First Metro Securities. And it's really amazing how technology enables us to add value wherever you are located. So, saan po ba kayo ngayon nanonood ng webinar natin? Anyone here from Manila, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, or outside the Philippines? May mga taga Cebu ba dito? Maayong gabi diha. We have from Mindanao, Silang Cavite, Dubai, and Iloilo City, Zamboanga, Bacolod, Tagum, Davao City. So, you see, we have different places, but we are convened in one session. So kahit sa ang sulok man ng mundo, no, pwede pa rin kayong makisali sa mga webinar series natin ngayon. So last year, we have conducted a total of 614 talks, reaching to a total of 60,000 audiences, and that's what we want to continue to do this year. So to start for this evening session, allow me to ask some questions. So I have prepared few poll questions. First one, kindly flash it on the screen. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word Treasury bills? Okay, so we have already one participant who answered the question, 2, 3, 8% already participated. I will just add few seconds if there are other attendees who would like to add. Okay, we have now 4. So I'll add the poll. Kindly flash the answer. I can't seem to see their answers on the screen. Okay, anyways, please chat it. Put it on the chat box. I can't seem to see the answers on the poll po. Please indicate on the chat box what comes to your mind when you hear the word Treasury bills. So we have here answer, pera, government security, low risk investment, government short term. Yun. So thank you so much for your feedback, no? Conservative investment. So these are some of the words that actually describe Treasury bills. How about the next poll? On a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being no idea and 5 being T-bills expert, how would you rate your current understanding of Treasury bills investment? Reflected na ba yung second poll? There. You may answer on the poll so that I can actually see the percentage. So for those who were able to answer on the chat box, kindly answer again on the poll. Wow. So I have here around 50%. Oh, sige, just few seconds na lang. Mga 10 seconds. Okay, so 61% already, no, 63% of the participants already answered the questions. So let me just end the poll. So 43% answered one. So it means that they really don't have any idea. And only one answered being T-bills expert. So perfect tong Treasury bills na webinar natin for those who answered 1, 2, and 3, as it will also enhance your understanding about T-bills. Third poll, have you invested in Treasury bills? Let me just check. Have you invested in Treasury bills? Majority ata, 81, 77%. I'll give you few seconds, 5 seconds before we end the poll. Okay. So among those who answered, 27 participants, 74% answered no. Okay. You still don't have Treasury bills investment. And only 7, or rather 26%, answered yes. So whether you are already an existing T-bills investor or considering in becoming one, so this webinar is perfect for you. So for your questions, kindly indicate it in the Zoom panel and we will answer it later sa Q&A portion. So for tonight, let me just close the poll. For tonight, we are honored to have Krisha Cerin. Krisha has almost 10 years of experience in the banking industry and has been with various institutions such as BDO Private Bank, Metrobank Card, and East West Bank. She joined First Metro Investment Corporation, First Metro Securities mother company, last October 2022, and worked as an institutional sales officer handling various fixed income products. And she joined First Metro Securities last June 2024 and is in charge of growing the institution's fixed income desk. And in the same year, she also earned the Chartered Financial Analyst designation. So please join me in welcoming Krisha to the virtual floor. Hi, Krisha. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you,
Okay,
Monneth, for that.
I'll turn over the floor to you. Take it away, Krisha.
Okay, so first, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight in this webinar as we discuss Treasury bills entitled Building Your Future, Treasury Bills and the Power of Discounted Earnings. So let me just wait for the slides. Okay, so in the next slide, by the end of this webinar, we aim to be able to answer the following questions. So first, what are Treasury bills? And next, how do you earn from Treasury bills? Also, what are the risks in investing in Treasury bills? How does the Philippine government issue Treasury bills? And finally, how can I invest in Treasury bills with First Metro Securities? So to answer the first question, what are Treasury bills? Treasury bills are short-term, fixed income securities issued by the Philippine government through the Bureau of Treasury or BTR. So some of its key characteristics involve the following. First, its tenor. I saw a while ago someone answered short-term investment, and that's correct. It's only a short-term duration, and the maximum tenor is just 364 days or 1 year. And then also, it is a discounted basis. This just means that when you invest in Treasury bills, the face value or the amount that you will receive upon maturity is always greater than the cash out that you will shell initially on settlement date. And the difference of the face value and the settlement amount is, in essence, the interest that you earned from investing in this security. Next, low denomination. So you can start trading in treasury bills with just 10,000 pesos. And also a good thing about this, it's a virtually risk-free. It's a conservative investment since it is backed by the full faith and credit of the Philippine government. Also, treasury bills, these are very liquid instruments. So just in case you invest in it and you suddenly need the funds, you can easily sell it in the secondary market at any point in time. And next, treasury bills are zero coupon instruments, meaning unlike bonds wherein you receive a certain amount every 4 months or every 6 months, here you don't receive that cash flow, but instead, you earn the interest from the difference of your cash out today and the maturity that you will receive on maturity date. And then finally, for the naming convention, how we refer it in the securities market is it's just T-bill, the word T-bill, and then we put the maturity date. So for example, T-bill 01/07/26, this just means a T-bill maturing on January 7, 2026. So to further explain those key features that I discussed using a illustration, so to your right, you can see a sample computation. This is what we usually send out to investors who are interested in buying T-bills. So you may ask us for indicative computations and we send this out to you. And also if, for example, a deal is dealt or executed, we also send out the final computation using this format. So how you interpret this table is bringing your attention to the first row, you see the maturity date. That's when you will be able to redeem your face value. So in this case, it's 1 million pesos, for example. And then the reference yield, it just pertains to the gross yield that you will earn by investing in this certain series. And then you can also see there below the reference yield, the settlement date, April 10, 2025. For example, 2 days from now. That just means that you will settle your investment on April 10, 2025. And then you can also see here in the computation, the breakdown, other details, and most importantly, the fees involved, broker's commission, PDEX mapping fee. And then on the bottommost part is the total settlement amount. That's your cash out, which you will be paying or we will be debiting from your account here in First Metro Securities on April 10, 2025. So in this case, a 1 million T-bill maturing on March 11, 2026, you will have to pay 960,639.34 on April 10. And then if you hold this security until maturity, so that's March 11, 2026, you'll be able to earn the 39,360.66. So to your left, it's another table. It's the T-bill run, as we call it. We send this every morning to our clients, the mailing list, and it shows there all the available treasury bills that we can offer, as well as their gross offer and the net offer. The net offer, it's already net of the fees and the tax for your convenience, so you can refer to it better. And then we also included the number of days left until maturity. So in case you have certain requirements for a particular period in time, you can choose which best suits your requirements. Also, please take note, this table, that's not all that we can offer. Maybe you're looking for a particular series. We can easily source it for you in the market. Just let us know in case you have a particular series in mind. So for our next point of discussion is how to earn from treasury bills. So treasury bills, these are debt instruments issued by our government. So in essence, we as investors, we lend out our money to the government. And by doing so, we earn from it. That's the interest earnings that we get from treasury bills. So the money that we lend to the government, they use it for public expenses, as well as sometimes they need to manage the liquidity in our system. So it's what they use. So a key feature that was discussed earlier was the discounted basis. And let me just explain that further with a new example to your right. To your right is a computation for a treasury bill maturing March 11, 2026 with a face value of 100,000. So again, that face value, that is what you will get upon maturity on March 11, 2026. So it's at 6% and will settle T+2 or April 10, 2025. So in this case, your cash out will be 95,886.55, and your total earnings will be the difference of 100,000 and 95,886.55. So for this deal, you have earned 4,113 for holding it for a total of 335 days. So that's what it means when we say discounted basis. The settlement amount is always lower than the face value for treasury bills. So upon maturity, when March 11, 2026 comes, you will get credited back with the 100,000. And you will have the option to reinvest this in other opportunities that best suits your needs, or maybe you need the money. So here at First Metro Securities, if you do choose to invest with us, upon maturity, what we do is we send out the notice that you have a maturity today. Here are our investment options, so you can easily reinvest it depending on your need. And finally, there is a net effective yield portion in the computation that we send out. So here in this table, you can see that it's at 4.61%. So that's just what you've earned in a percentage form. So it's just the formula is just total earnings. So that's your 4,113 divided by your cash out on April 10. And then we always annualize it, since it's treasury bills are up to a maximum of 1 year only. So we annualize it times 360 over the days to maturity left. And in the next slide, we discuss the risks in investing in treasury bills. So earlier we mentioned that treasury bills are virtually risk-free. So why do we say virtually? Since there's really no investment that is 100% risk-free. All investments come with risks. It's just a matter of how much risk is present in one investment. The good thing about treasury bills, it's very conservative. So it's really a low-risk investment relative to other instruments. Why? Because it is backed by the full faith and credit of the Philippine government. But let me go through the other risks that you may encounter when you invest in treasury bills. First is the inflation risk. The interest income from your treasury bills may not keep up with inflation, which effectively reduces the purchasing power of your investment over time. So it just means that, for example, you're locked in a treasury bill right now. Your 1,000 today, it's not the same as your 1,000 1 year from now. If inflation rises quickly, your 1,000 today can buy more than what it can buy in 1 year from now. Next is your interest rate risk. If interest rates rise after you purchase treasury bills, the value of your T-bill in the secondary market may decrease. Although it's not much of a concern if you hold the investment until the maturity. So this just means that, for example, you lock in on investment in treasury bills today, the prices of treasury bills, it moves daily, or it is affected by different market factors. But the good thing is, it's a fixed income instrument. So once you've agreed upon the details of a certain treasury bill series today, you are assured that you will receive that amount on maturity day. So this would only be a concern for you if you do sell it prior to the maturity date, because it may happen that you get to receive less than what you have shelled out. But if you do hold it until maturity, no problem with that. Next is your opportunity cost. T-bills typically offer lower returns compared to other investments like stocks or corporate bonds. By investing in T-bills, you might miss out on higher returns elsewhere. This just means that there is always a risk-reward relationship. So of course, the higher the risk is in a particular, in any investment actually, you get compensated more for taking that risk. But since treasury bills are low risks investment, it doesn't give you that much of a return as compared to other investment products that are riskier. So there's always that risk reward, and you have to balance your appetite in that sense. And then you also have your investment risk. So in a declining interest rate environment, once your T-bill investment matures, it may be hard to find a similarly favorable rate. So for example, you invest in treasury bills today for, let's say, 6% for 1 year. And then after 1 year, you want to reinvest again. But when you check the prices with us, rates for another year is just around 5%. But you still want to get that 6%. Well, we can't do anything about it anymore because the prevailing rates are 5%. And that's the risk that you have to take. You get locked in a security, and then upon maturity, rates are lower. So you have to make do with what the current rates are. And then important to note, treasury bills, they are not insured by the Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation, unlike your bank deposits, which are insured for up to 1 million pesos. However, the treasury bills, they are considered low-risk investments as they are backed by the full credit and taxing power of the Philippine government. Okay, so for this slide, I'd just like to discuss how the Philippine government issue treasury bills. The details, these screenshots, I got it from the Bureau of Treasury or BTR's website. That's treasury.gov.ph. Let me just explain it to you briefly. The first screenshot, you can see the schedule of offering of BTR. They auction treasury bills every week. So that's usually on a Monday to settle T+2 on a Wednesday, except when there are holidays, they move it and they announce the new schedule on the website. So here you can see that, by the way, they also release this schedule every quarter. So this is the schedule for the first quarter of this year. And they also released a new schedule already for the second quarter. So for this, you can see that they offered treasury bills every week of the first quarter. And they offered it in 3 tenors, 91 days, 182 days, and 364 days. You can also see the volume of offering there. 7 billion for 91, another 7 for 182, and 8 billion for 364 days. So it gives you a sense of how much a government wants to borrow. So it's also good to check that every once in a while if you're interested. And then the screenshot on the right, it's just a explanation further on a per auction date basis. So for this one, the auction date was last March 17, and they just specified what the identifiers are, the ISIN, just the identifier for a particular series. And they also included the amount. To reiterate, they're borrowing 7 billion, 7 billion, and 8 billion for a total of 22 billion. And they also indicated the issue date, which was last March 19, as well as the maturity dates of those particular series that are to be auctioned. And then next, maybe for better appreciation lang of how the auction process works in the Philippines, I'd like to go through this as well and explain it to you. It's really very interesting. In the Philippine market, the BTR, there are 2 kinds of auctions. One you call English auction, the other you call Dutch auction. So for English auction, It just means that you get the rate that you bid for, provided that it is within the accepted bids by the Bureau of Treasury. While for Dutch auction, it means that all bids are awarded with only one rate. But for Treasury bills, we concern ourselves with the English auction only, since it's English auction for this. And then for the auction process, it's an open bidding for all government securities eligible dealers. That's your usual banks, the big banks, and other institutions who are GSEDs. They submit their bids specifying the yield that they are willing to accept for a particular series, and they also indicate the amount. So they put this in the system of BTR, and then what happens is that BTR, the system fixes it from ascending order. So it's from the lowest yield that was inputted to the highest yield. So it's similar to how us as consumers, when we want to, let's say, loan from a bank. Of course, you want to loan at a rate that is most favorable to you. So you want low rates. So it's the same for government. Since they are borrowing money from us, they want to minimize their cost by awarding the lowest rate first. Also, there are two types of bids, competitive and non-competitive bid. Competitive bid is when you specify the particular rate that you are willing to accept, while for non-competitive bid, you are just a price taker. So you just indicate a volume, and then whatever the average yield gets awarded after the auction process, you are willing to take that. Also, if you're interested, this is every week, this is live streamed in Bureau of Treasury's Facebook page, so you can check it out. But for this table on the right, let me explain it to you further on the next screen. So here, I just got that table from the Bureau of Treasury's Facebook page. This was an actual auction of a 91-day T-bill last March 3. Sorry, I think medyo maliit, but please bear with me. Bringing your attention towards the first image, towards the upper right portion, the highlighted portion, you can see there the total offering. They were looking to borrow 7 billion. And then what they do first is that they award all non-competitive bids first, so that they award 40% of the total offering of 7 billion. So in this case, they awarded 2.8 billion to all those who bid at non-competitive rate. And then if you subtract that, you get 4.2 billion left. So that 4.2 billion is what's left to be awarded to all competitive bidders. So bringing your attention towards the bottom part with the underlines, you can see the first row, NC, amount tendered was around 19.27 billion. So it was quite an in-demand series. But the government only awarded 2.8 billion of that amount. So if you, for example, participated in this auction at non-competitive rate, you only get partially awarded of your bid. And then next, they move on to the lowest yield that was inputted in the system. In this case, it was 5.28%. You see that there is 2 billion of volume in that rate, and the government has 4.2 billion left to award. So they can award that fully. 2 billion fully awarded. We're left with 2.2 billion to award. So we move on to the next lowest rate. It's 5.284. And the volume there was 1.75 billion. So it still fits the amount that they have left. So we fully award that as well. After awarding that, the government only has 450 million left. But the next bid at 5.294, it's at 1.5 billion. So what happens is that rate, 5.294, gets only partially awarded at 450 million. And it stops there. All other higher bids after that gets cut, no allocation given. And they publish these results after every auction. To your right, you can see the Treasury bill auction results. So 91-day column, you can see Again, the amount offered, amount tendered, so it was 37 billion, such a strong demand. All bids that were inputted amounted to 37.48 billion, but the government only awarded 7 billion. And you can see in the rates, the low was at 5.28%. So earlier, that was the lowest rate that was awarded. And then the highest rate that was awarded was at 5.294%. And the average of that is at 5.283%, which gets awarded to those who bid at the non-competitive bid. Also, for here at First Metro Securities, should you have any interest to join the auction, we can facilitate that for you. The minimum to participate in competitive bids in the auction is 10 million in increments of 1 million. But if you'd like to join the non-competitive bid, we can accommodate 1 million pesos. So if you're thinking 10 million, 1 million, that's too much for me, don't worry. Since, next slide. Since here at First Metro Securities, we can accommodate your orders in the secondary market for just 10,000 pesos in increments of 1,000 pesos. You just have to send your inquiries to us at fixedincome@firstmetrosec.com.ph. You can send any inquiry there, not limited to treasury bills. Any fixed income related inquiry, just message us there and we can get back to you with any concerns that you have, any questions, if you'd like to know more, or if you'd like a sample computation, we can provide that for you. And on the table below, this is the full table that we send out daily to our clients, to our mailing list. If you want to be part of that, it's okay also. Just message us at fixedincome@firstmetrosec.com.ph or state your intention on the feedback form later. So here on the left, that's beyond the scope of the talk today, but let me just explain briefly. It's a government bond run. So that we also offer retail treasury bonds, FXTNs. You can see there the offer rate, which you will pertain to if you're looking to buy. And you can also see the coupon rate, which is the interest payments that you will receive every quarter, every semi-annual. So once you've decided to, if you're decided to invest in treasury bills, you can accomplish the bond order form by downloading it at our website. Just go to firstmetrosec.com.ph, about us, help center, forms transactional, and you will see the bond order form. So in the next slide, it looks something like this. There, to your right, that's the bond order form. You just have to fill out your details, what you want to buy, the face value of what you want to buy, and send it back to fixed income at firstmetrosec.com.ph, and we can provide you with a sample computation. And if you're amenable to that, or if you have any target rates, we can try. You can communicate with us through that channel. So for our fees, in the primary market, if you'd like to join the auction, it's 0.05% of your face value. And then in the secondary market, it's 0.125% upfront broker's fee per annum. So we annualize it. And 0.0025% for the PDEX mapping fee, very minimal. So for example, a 500,000 investment in a treasury bill maturing 346 days from now, the broker's commission is around 590. PDEX mapping fee, very negligible. It's what the system charges us, so we include it. And yeah, that's all for the fees. And in the secondary market, should you wish to sell at any point in time, so then you need the funds, that's possible to do so. Same process as buying. You just fill out a bond order form, indicate sell. We send you a computation, and you tell us if you're okay with that. We execute. For the settlement date, it's up to you. You can choose between T+1 to T+3. We only count the banking days here. So if there's a holiday, we don't count that day. If it's a weekend, we don't count the weekend. So T+1 up to T+3, depending on your preference. But T+3 is the maximum. And then for my final slide, I'd like to invite everyone to invest with us now here in First Metro Securities. So you can jumpstart if you're a beginner in investing. It's not a bad idea to jumpstart your investment journey with Treasury bills, since as I've discussed earlier, it's very conservative. It's virtually risk-free, and it's just 10,000 pesos for starters. So you can try it out first. If you like it, you can add slowly, build up to it. Or if you are already an existing account holder with us and you have exposure to stocks or funds, maybe it's a good way to diversify your portfolio, since it has less risk, and you have assured income, fixed income already. And then you receive your interest upfront. In essence, since it is a discounted security, provided you hold it until maturity, the difference of the face value and your settlement amount, you get that upfront. And it will stay with you if you let the security mature. And then it's also liquid, so you don't have to be scared about being locked in your investment for until the duration of the maturity. Just in case you need your funds, we can always sell. But the thing is, this will be subject to the current market conditions. So there's a possibility that you may sell at a loss. But the important thing is you can get out of it should you have the need to do so. And then finally, it's just a short-term investment. For a maximum of 1 year tenor, it allows for quick returns. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. fixedincome@firstmetrosec.com.ph. Thank you so much.
I thank you for that, Krisha. So let's give Krisha a short break. Allow her to drink water first. And later she'll be back to answer the questions. So let me just reshare my screen. Okay, so Krisha actually discussed about the concept of treasury bills, the risk, how it is being issued, and how to invest in treasury bills with First Metro Securities. So with First MetroSec, it's your one-stop shop for all of your investment needs. So before, we only actually cater stocks, real estate investment trusts, exchange-traded funds, pooled funds such as mutual funds and UITFs, and then bonds. And now we have the newest investment available in First MetroSec. We have treasury bills. So aside from being a powerful investment account, you make sure to partner with the best. And we are grateful to our clients as we were awarded as the best online broker and the best online trading platform for 7 years in a row now. And for those who still don't have a First MetroSec account, here is how convenient and easy to open your very own First MetroSec investment account via our website for joint account, interest for account, corporate account. Just visit www.firstmetrosec.com.ph, and with our mobile application, just download First MetroSec Go app, and this is suitable for individual account opening. And then you need to accomplish everything online, upload the necessary documents, which include government-issued ID, tax identification number, proof of residence, utility bills, proof of bank account, and your 1,000 pesos initial deposit or initial funding. And please don't forget to indicate the seminar code T-bills. And I will show to you our account opening video.
Trading on the go? Here's First MetroSec Go for you. Easily open your account today with this app. You can download the First MetroSec Go app through Play Store or App Store for free. If you already have it on your device, simply open the app and click Sign Up Now. Next, you need to create a user ID, read and agree to the terms, and provide these information. Once you're done, click the link on the email verification sent. Now, let's complete your account application. First, input your account information. Then, provide your user information. Next, accomplish the investor profile form. Almost there! Read and agree to the terms and conditions. Then click Agree. You will then receive your reference number through the app. Don't forget to save this number because you will need it for your initial deposit. Next, upload or take a photo of these requirements. 1 valid ID, 3 signatures on a piece of white paper, proof of address, and proof of bank account. If you're self-employed, there are additional requirements. Now let's fund your account. You can make your initial deposit through bills payment, online fund transfer, over-the-counter deposit, or remittance. The minimum 5,000 pesos or $100 can be used to invest in stocks, funds, and bonds. There is no maintaining balance required. Next, you will need to verify your identity. Simply take a photo of your ID and take a selfie. You're all set. An email confirmation will be sent to you in 2 to 3 business days. Happy trading! For more information, visit our help center at help.firstmetrosec.com.ph. All the options and convenience within your reach through International Finance's best online broker and best online trading platform for 4 years in a row. With FirstMetroSec, it's your future first.
So once you have an active FirstMetro Securities account, you may receive this government securities run every day. If you want to receive this in your email, just indicate your email address in the feedback survey later. So on the left portion, it's for the government securities or the bonds. And then on the right portion, we have there the treasury bills. So let's specify on the treasury bills. And then you check the net offer of each treasury bills available. If you have already decided, for example, let's say 4.75 gross offer or the net offer with 3.6715 net offer, the treasury bill name is April 16, 2025, you may actually ask our fixed income at firstmetrosec.com.ph to provide you with this indicative computation. So this is just an example indicative computation. So if ever you have already decided that you want to invest in treasury bills, first you must submit client suitability assessment. So this will actually you will answer here 7 questions and need also to read client's acknowledgement as well as the risk disclosure. So this is only a 4-pager document. And then on the 4th page, you just need to sign. Another requirement that you need to submit is investor's undertaking. So this is actually needed to create this NROS or National Registry of Scriptless Securities. So you may submit first the client suitability assessment and investor's undertaking just in case you still have not specified any treasury bills that you want to invest. So by the time that you have already decided on what treasury bill to invest, you can submit the bond order form. Just fill out the necessary information and as well as your name and signature at the bottom part of the form and send it to fixedincome@firstmetrosec.com.ph. So once it is being executed by our traders, this will now be part of your bond tab. So along with the retail treasury bills or the corporate bonds. Okay, so feel free to connect with us in our social media channels. Just search at firstmetrosec.com.ph and then you may scan the QR code. So for any questions regarding your accounts, updates, or access, email customer service at firstmetrosec.com.ph. If you want market education to your organization, email market education at firstmetrosec.com.ph. And if you want to ask regarding fixed income securities, just email fixedincome at firstmetrosec.com.ph. And I would also like to invite you guys in our April 2025 webinars to continue to brighten up your finances this summer, this April. Let's turn up the heat on your financial goals. So join our expert-led webinars and dive into key investing and wealth building topics. So a brighter future for you starts now. So check out our April 2025 event calendar for details, and registration link will be provided by our chat moderator. And also, master the market with confidence. You can actually take your investing skills to the next level. So join our guided investor fearless trader webinar series and gain expert insights on making smarter trades and investment decisions. And lastly, for our customized, gamified, award-winning market education programs exclusively designed for your company, school, or organization, just send us a formal invite at marketeducation@firstmetrosec.com.ph. And at this juncture, may I once again call our speaker to turn on her mic and camera as we accommodate the questions that you have. Let me just check if there are questions in the Zoom panel or on the chat box. Okay. Hi, Krisha. So let's have the first question. What makes T-bills a good complement to our existing portfolio?
As discussed earlier, T-bills, it's a fixed income investment. Like, provided that you hold it until maturity, upon execution, you already know how much you will be getting. So if you complement this to, let's say, your portfolio full of stocks or full of funds, treasury bills, it has a maturity date. So you know when your funds are coming back to you. So equities and funds, they don't have maturity dates. And when they are affected by market factors and the price go down and you can't take it anymore, you have no choice but to sell, get out of it. So putting a fixed income instrument alongside with other asset classes, you get to mitigate your risk overall on your portfolio.
Thank you for that, Krisha. So we have here another question. So what is the maximum amount that can be invested in T-bills?
The maximum amount really ranges to what's available in the market, but we can go to up to as high as 50, 100 million, 150 million, 200 million. We could go on. So sometimes I've dealt with institutions dealing at 500 millions to 1 billion. So it really depends on what's available for sale in the market and what the volume is.
Thank you for that, Krisha. So we have here question how to receive T-bill quotes via email.
Oh, just put your email address in the feedback form, right, Monneth?
Yes.
Feedback form in this webinar, and I will include you in our mailing list. So we send it out daily along with the government securities as well as our primary offers and news links.
Yes, so later I will flash the QR code for our feedback form. So make sure to answer our survey and at the same time indicate your email address so that we can include you to the everyday notices of our government runs and government security runs and as well as T-bills run. Next. So if I need the money that I invested in T-bills, can I withdraw it before the term? Or is there a pre-termination fee?
We can sell it in the secondary market. So I think a misconception with T-bills is it's not like your time deposit where
Mm.
you pre-terminate it with a fee. But for treasury bills, since it's a government security, just like any other government securities, you can get out of this investment by selling it in the market. So the amount that you will receive will depend on what the prevailing prices are in the market.
Thank you for that, Krisha. So we have here a question related to T-bills issuances. Do the Bureau of Treasury discuss where the funds will be used for, like certain projects?
Specifically, I think not really on a per series basis, but if you stay updated with the news, I think the government states their intentions for the national debt program.
Thank you for that, Krisha. Oh, here, another question. Can it be a joint investment or is it only individual for T-bills investing?
It can be a joint investment.
Unlike with a retail treasury bond, it's only for individuals, right? So you have here option for joint, which is for the treasury bills. Okay, so how about this next question? What is your personal take on investing in T-bills? Do you typically wait until their maturity or do you sell them before the term ends?
As much as possible, I'd like to wait until maturity personally. So when I invest in T-bills, what I do is I ensure that the funds I put there will only be needed by the maturity date or after the maturity date. I think in this way, you lessen your risk to the market factors because once you sell it before the maturity date, that's when you get hit by the market forces because you don't know at what price you will be selling it. So you might be able to sell it at a loss. But if you hold it until maturity, then you get what we've talked about upon execution of the deal.
Okay, so if you sell it, you are actually exposed to more risk rather than if you wait until maturity. So we have another question. What is the maximum maturity date of treasury bills? 1 year only?
Yes, 364 days to be exact. That's the maximum.
Yes, so suitable lang talaga siya for short term or parking of your emergency fund.
Yes,
Yon.
kasi there's no less risk of a loss provided
Mhm.
you hold it until maturity.
Yes. So moving on to the next question. What makes treasury bills investing in FirstMetroSec different from other investment solutions provider?
Oh, me, I've been in different institutions already and I've seen the online platform of FirstMetroSec. It's really nice. If you aren't a client yet, it's great to explore. By investing in treasury bills with us here at First Metro Securities, your investment holdings, it will be reflected on your account online, which is easily viewable for you. And then it's nice in this online account, you get to see how the market is doing, as well as a pie of your portfolio, a percentage of your allocation in different asset classes with us. So I think that's one good option about investing in us is you get to enjoy the features of our online platform. Next would be, I think, the minimum amount. Because in the other institutions I've been, it's usually a higher amount to be able to start investing. So there are amounts of 500,000, 1 million. But here in First Metro Securities, we make it easier for everyone to try out investing. By just 10,000 pesos, you can start your investment journey in treasury bills.
Thank you for that, Krisha. And to add, I also came from another banking institution. So whenever you invest on treasury bills, there are several number of documents that you need to comply. Whereas with First MetroSec, we only have client suitability and then investors undertaking. And then by the time you want to invest on that particular treasury bill, then you only need the bond order form. And everything shall be submitted via email. You don't need to visit the branch or the office. So here we have another question. I find it interesting. So any tips or guidelines in choosing the T-bills to buy?
Oh, first you'd have to consider maybe your requirement. If you need the funds by a certain period, then of course you'd have to put into consideration that tenor. Another maybe is if always stay updated with the latest trends in the market. So if you are hearing that there would be a rate cut, like what is highly expected this April 10, then you would have a gauge of where the interest rates are going moving forward. So in that case, you'd like to invest in the longest possible tenor for T-bills, which is a year, or maybe even go longer to bonds so that you can take advantage of the current high rates. Yeah, those are some of my advices, but I think the most important is to ensure that it fits your requirements.
So thank you for that, Krishan. Moving on to the next question. What's the difference between the T-bills and time deposit, which is less risky and which is much competitive in interest between the two?
First difference is treasury bills. It's a debt instrument issued by the government. So it is listed in an exchange. It is traded in the secondary market. Where and the rates for this, it's affected by the different market forces happening in our economy. For time deposits, this is an instrument by the banks. And the rates on time deposit, it is dependent on the requirements of the bank. So if a certain bank is in need of cash for a particular period, then they increase the interest rates on time deposits. So as in terms of competitiveness of the rate, it really depends on maybe there's a bank offering a high TD rate, another bank is offering a low TD rate because it's on a per bank basis. But for treasury bills, it's on a per market basis. So I can't really say which is more competitive among the two. It depends on the current market, what's happening with the banks and the current market forces.
Well, in that case, well, it is better for the investor to, by time to time, they check the current TD rates and as well as the treasury bills rate.
Yes. So it's best to check between different banks because they really offer a range of time deposit rates depending on their needs. It's not just when this bank offers one rate, it's the same for other banks. It doesn't work that way for time deposits.
Yes, because if the bank requires more CASA or deposit in their current,
Yeah,
let's say,
they
book,
increase the rates.
they increase their interest rate. However, for those banks which actually do not require bigger deposit, then they decrease their interest offering. So that's how it works for time deposit. We have here another question. Is T-bills taxed with 20%?
Yes, 20%. Same with your bonds.
Okay, I think that sums up our Q&A. No more questions on the Zoom panel. Thank you so much for all of your questions. And of course, thank you very much to our guest speaker, Krisha, for gamely answering them. So if you still have questions after this session, you can actually book an online session through Calendly. You may scan the QR code if you want a one-on-one session, or if you want through email, just email fixedincome@firstmetrosecurities.com.ph. So I'll give few seconds for you to scan the code or take a screenshot. There. And to our attendees, we also value your feedback. You can share your thoughts and experiences with us by scanning the QR code and answer our feedback form. So link will be provided by our chat moderator, and your input is essential in helping us improve our services and better meet your needs. And we appreciate your contribution, and we look forward to implementing these positive changes from your valuable feedback. Again, thank you so much, Krisha, and we look forward to our next collaboration as we continue to serve the Filipino investors. So perhaps you have some parting words for our audience before we formally close this event.
Again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And this is an important first step in investing in anything, actually, is to get to know more about the product, what you're getting into, where you are putting your hard-earned funds. And we hope that by learning more about Treasury bills in this session, you get inspired or enticed to try it out and jumpstart your investment journey with us here at First Metro Securities. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you very much, Krisha. So there you have it. Once again, on behalf of First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Krisha for gracing us with her time and presence. Thank you also to everyone who attended tonight. We sincerely hope you learned a lot, and these insights and lessons will make your investment journey not just more profitable, but also more enjoyable. So please don't forget to provide feedback for today's webinar. So we hope to see you again in our future learning events, because over here at First Metro Securities, we put your future first. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you, Krisha. Bye.